CG Cookie Concept live stream. We do these every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, -6 GMT. And usually I post an hour or two beforehand what we're going to be working on, or I'll tell you a week in advance. I still have to think of what we're going to be doing for next week, so maybe by the end of the stream I'll be able to tell you. And yeah, today we're going to be doing kind of a fun, low-key one. Essentially, I'm going to be doing something traditionally. At the same time, Key is going to be doing something digitally. And it's kind of to show you different approaches to treat the same subject matter. And in this case, we are going to be doing our DRAWTOBER little icon there. It's a challenge that starts in October 1st and runs through the 31st. Essentially, if you've heard of Inktober or Drawloween, it's the same type of concept, but instead this year we created our own calendar with our own prompts. And if you do all 31, you can win, not this one, the bronze one. Key will grab it really quick. So this is the bronze pumpkin. And the reason that I am not wearing it today is because I have not yet earned this, because only those who complete all 31 days will be able to don well, I used to call it the golden pumpkin, but I guess I should be calling it the copper pumpkin. Or bronze pumpkin? One of the two.
Oh, shiny pumpkin.
The shiny pumpkin. And this is going to be our subject matter for today. So if you want to know more information or you want to see the calendar, go follow us on Instagram. I have a link below. The announcements for CG Cookie are, if you are interested in a live critique session with me, I'm going to be offering them on September 14th. And it's for the pro members at CG Cookie, so you can sign up below, submit your images, or if you just want to put your stuff up to be critiqued, you can put that on the forum wall as well, and I will take your images to critique them. We have the contest going on right now, the Canine contest, which actually Key is one of the judges, along with myself. And there's 8 other artists besides us that are judging this contest, and it's quite the lineup, I must say. We have some people working at Riot Games. Oh, you know what? I should really make sure that my mic's working and that... Okay, good. I have a problem sometimes with going, and then 2 minutes in, I'll read the comments of hey, your mic's off, or the video's not working. Standing for 2 minutes so rough.
Standing.
So the contest is going on right now. That's another thing you can check out on the site. It ends on September 30th, and you can win a lot of big prizes. We doubled the loot for this contest, and I've seen already not only some in progresses, but our people have already submitted. And those who receive the most love will also win an award. So be sure to submit early so that you have the option to be seen and receive the likes from the community. The other announcement, I am currently working on a skeleton PSD that you will be able to download soon. And essentially you can then zoom in, look at all the skeleton parts from the front, side, and back view. I am also closing up a trailer for the robot course, and then I'll be marketing that out. And I feel like that's all the big things. I mean, I usually have a little post-it note, but today I've been running around. I think that's all we got today. I think that's it. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started. If you guys want to put where you're watching from, and be sure to put at CG Cookie Concept before your question or comment today. That way it's very easy for me to see it when I'm switching back and forth between drawing and the comment section. So I'm going to put all these up here. Let me just push this out on the socials. And we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a split screen essentially. Key is on the left. She's going to be working in Photoshop. I am on the right, and I'm going to be working with traditional pencils and mechanical pencils.
Do we have to do the shout out?
Oh yeah, we're going to do the shout out in just a second.
I'll open up Judge over here.
Okay. Okay, wait, really quick though, there was a question from Gypsy. Faith wanted to know if the images for the contest had to be full body. They do not. I think it would show more creativity and more of what you can do with the character, but I am not making it a requirement for the contest. Chrissy says, is the skeleton PDF only for citizen members? Yes. Okay, Key, you want us? We'll start at...
I gotta go over there because this isn't updated.
Oh, okay. We'll start at Kratos. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kratos, hello from Colombia.
C.A. Lance says hello from Washington State.
Nikita from Vancouver.
Christy from Oregon.
Chloe from Spain.
Gypsy from Oregon.
Hey, Gypsy. Simi Art from New Mexico.
Ibizel from Saudi Arabia.
One of the Dundane from Belgium once again.
Laris from Finland.
Joe Pasaurus from the Netherlands. Hey, Joe Pasaurus.
Hey, Sebastian from Maryland.
This side of average from Ireland.
Morla from Germany.
Oh, Morla. Hello.
Hello.
Seb from Chile.
Bomb Bomb Dubs from UK.
Ella from Sweden / Tess House. Oh, there's other houses now being created.
Vamera from Spain.
Guo Hai from Netherlands.
Mama Chu from LA.
Auxilian from Italy.
Cactus from Croatia.
And I think, oh, nope. Tall Johnny P from Oklahoma.
Sergio from Salem, Oregon.
Brandon Paints from California.
Zane from, wait, no.
Yep.
Yeah, Zane from Ohio.
Sea Phantom from Portugal.
Oh, CVV Eddie from
Sveti.
Bulgaria. Sveti.
Okay. Let's make this happen. Okay, I'm going to switch over here. And Art of Price is asking, what are you drawing for the stream? Clearly, we're drawing Sean, our roommate.
Ella says, hi, Sean.
Hi.
Okay, so I guess really quick, before we get going, we're just going to do a quick what we're going to be working with. I am going to be using a 0.7 Bic mechanical pencil. It's kind of one that you can find anywhere. And then a 0.2 mechanical pencil for kind of the detailing areas. This is a Mono Zero eraser. It's my favorite eraser besides the Kneaded Eraser. And you can see it has a nice circular tip here. And whenever you want a flat edge, because sometimes they can get rounded out, you just go to the side of your paper and rub it really strong, and then it will create a nice flat edge. And then the last thing is my Kneaded Eraser, in case you need to erase a big area quickly, or if you need to like pick up some of the lead or the graphite that's being put in, but you don't want to pick all of it up. I use this, and it definitely works. And then Key, be sure to yell.
I'm using Photoshop CS6, and I'm going to be using my beautiful tablet pen that belongs to my Wacom 205. I don't think it's the Pro, it's just whatever they had that had 5 attached to it. I don't know. It's a tablet. And I think that's all the tools I'm using.
That's all we got. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask us while we're doing this, feel free. And I guess to start off, Key, if we want to kind of explain why we're doing DRAWTOBER and what it is.
We're doing DRAWTOBER. Well, I've been doing the Halloween challenges for 2 years in a row now, and this will be going on to my 3rd year. And we thought it'd be really cool to be able to like make our own prompts. Just ones that we know would be very inspiring to us every single day. Instead of maybe doing someone else's list where like maybe they have like a good range, but like not all of them are as interesting to us. So
I guess selfishly, we wanted to create prompts that inspire us, and then we're like, oh, we could just have this be our own calendar and then put it out there in case anyone else wants to join.
boom.
Boom.
Also, Halloween's the best.
Yeah. If you can't tell, we're pretty excited about Halloween in general. Oh, you know what? I'm going to move my camera forward. There we go. And the way that we're going to work it is Key's going to make the pumpkin look more painterly, as if she painted it, using the PSD that we created as a base. And then I'm going to be doing it traditionally, and I'm going to take some of my own artistic liberties with how I'm going to shade it. So like I said in the beginning, this is definitely going to be more of a low-key stream. Nothing too prominent that we want to talk about, because I know the last few weeks we've been digging pretty deep and we wanted to have more of a fun one for today.
3 to 7, 5 to 10.
Oh, you know what I can do for you guys? I can give you a sneak peek at one of the days, because I had to start, well, Key and I will be starting some of the Drawtober list early because we're going to be in Europe the second half of October. And since we don't want to rush the drawings while we're there, we're going to have to start a little early on some of these. So I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of the last day. And that's what you get. That's it. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
And that was Sweet Tooth. Okay, I'm gonna
use filters right off the bat.
So typically when, I guess we can go, if I'll talk about 10 minutes about my process, you talk 10 minutes about yours.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to do the Twitch hashtags. I always forget that. Because sometimes with my traditional stuff, I feel like it changes based on how I'm feeling that day. So sometimes I'll be going in and I'll do a lot of like swoopy light gesture sketches, and then I'll paint on top of it essentially, or I'll draw on top of the lines that I feel are the strongest. But then there are other times where I do what you're seeing here, where I'll just kind of like try to line it out right away, and then I'll start shading inside of it. And I don't think one is better than the other. I think the gesture one, it's a little easier to, well, bless you. It's a little easier to edit your proportions on the go. But I think when it comes to, just going without any gesture drawing, you definitely run the risk of it looking off or as if something might be out of place. So you want to be careful if you're going to go that direction. Okay, Altered Mage says, in the canine contest, doesn't say anything about a mask in rules, but in the tips it says mask has to be canine, so it needs to have a mask or no? Yes. The mask can be implied, like some people I know wanted to do scarring, but you know what, I'll make that an official rule after the stream, just so it becomes a little clearer. Because I do feel like that should be, I should have put that as a requirement right away, rather than just like imply it. Morla says, low-key stream. Nice unintentional pun, Tim. Well, thank you. So you can see here, sometimes I'll have slightly thicker lines, and then when I go into like the middle of an area, I tend to make them thinner, and then when it hits another direction area, I'll then make it a touch darker. I'll thicken the line. And you'll see me constantly do that as I move around here. Just moving around. Oh, you know what we could ask them? What are your guys' favorite horror movies that we probably haven't seen yet? We have a horror movie list on our whiteboard right now, and we're looking to add to it.
Horror movie.
Because a lot of them are just like repeats that I've already seen from like previous years. But I want to be surprised. Last year I was definitely surprised with like The Babadook and It Follows and Goodnight Mommy. So if there's any that you were like, oh, you should definitely check this weird one out that I found randomly, please let me know.
Yes, please.
And I'm not even going to start using the smaller pencil until I get into more of the fine detail. So I'm going to be working with a thicker size here, pretty much the whole outline. All right, Mikey, if you want to describe what you're doing over there.
My process is chaos. Like, I like to pretty much just jump in and filter things right away. If the colors are laid down first, of course.
Actually, what's it looking like already? Oh.
Yeah, I'm going nutso. But a lot of my process is just kind of like picking at it. Like if I'm not satisfied with the colors, I'll attack that right away. Like, whatever part of the picture is making me the most uncomfortable, where I'm not satisfied, I'll attack that first. And when it comes to colors, sometimes I'll have an idea of what I want in my head. Like right now, I do really like the idea of this being like more vintagey looking, while also not just looking vintagey, but also still having like splashes of color. Since I kind of want this contrast of Tim's pencil where he has no color, so I want to be able to show lots of color in mine, because that's kind of like the whole point in us doing different mediums.
I'm actually kind of curious to see what yours comes out like.
I don't know what's going to come out.
Actually, that's kind of the beauty of digital. I feel like you can take those risks.
Yeah. There's little risk in doing digital, because like if there's something that you don't like doing, you can always go back and like there's always the undo, whereas in traditional there really isn't a whole lot of room for risk, because if you do take a risk, you could potentially mess up your whole drawing and you'll have to start over. But yeah. Cool.
Well, and I mean, Key is possibly thinking of doing gouache for all 31 days.
Yeah.
She's been going back and forth on it just because that would be quite the challenge.
I am not skilled in doing gouache at all, so it would be completely out of my comfort zone to be doing gouache. So, we'll see what happens.
We believe in you, Key.
Oh, yay. Thanks.
Thanks. Tijal says, no, I'm late. Well, you're still here. You made it. Thanks for coming, Tijal. I mean, actually, the date's coming closer and closer when we'll see you. So, next month. Oh, it's crazy. We're going to be in Europe next month.
Don't remind me.
We're still trying to plan on other things first. Like, we're going to Salt Lake at the end of this month. So if you guys will be in the area, come stop by our booth and say hi. We don't bite.
Oh, maybe a little.
He does a little bit.
I definitely bite.
Sean's a biter.
Okay, Tim, I'm going to take this for you.
Thank you, Sean. Articales 99 says, I'd recommend the movie Don't Knock Twice. I have not heard that one actually ever. Let me grab my little... Key, do you have a Post-it note over there?
I got so many Post-it notes.
I'm going to write down the ones you guys suggest.
Actually, you got it?
No.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You said you had so many.
I know. I couldn't find them for a second. Here you go.
Okay. Let's see here. Don't knock twice.
Don't knock twice.
Nikita says it's more suspense than horror, but Circle is really interesting and it's on Netflix. I did watch Circle last year.
Move the mic closer. Someone said they're having problems.
You're gonna have to yell, Keith.
Guys, you have to hear me. Open your ears.
So Circle I found super interesting. I don't know if I would call it a good movie, but it's definitely one I would watch at least once because it definitely makes you question how you would react in this situation. And I like movies that make you question your own response to what's being displayed. Nam Taru says White Melody of Death. I've never heard of that one.
Write that down.
See, I knew you guys would have some good ones to recommend. Story focuses on all-girl K-pop group, but it's Korean horror. That's interesting. Laris Art says, I love the movie The Orphanage. So did I. Gypsy Hummingbird says, also the ABCs of Death 1 and 2 are great horror anthologies, amazing directors. Holidays was also a good one. I've never heard of that one either.
Oh, man. It's like a gold mine.
Right? And usually I'm pretty good with... maybe it's because it's horror. I'm actually... If there was one genre I'm admittedly not familiar with, it's horror. But that's why every October I try to become more familiar and put myself in movies that I normally wouldn't watch because you never know what you can pick up. Okay, and then we'll leave it for there for the time being. Sergio says, Tim, do you do charcoal drawings? Normally I do not. I will start experimenting more probably this winter, and we'll kind of see what I really want to try clay sculpting. So it's something.
We're gonna have sculpting days.
Yeah, we're gonna have sculpting days, which actually we should stream some of those.
Okay.
I would stream some of those for you guys.
Wait, guys, I can show you a dumb sculpture that I've had sitting around at my desk for a million years. That is actually really dusty because I never put it in the oven.
Who do you want me to put it?
Creepy little legs. Oh yeah.
Isn't they beautiful? Oh, you want?
I
really like this key. I like how you did the nostrils a lot.
Look how fuzzy it is. It's like getting little hair.
Yeah.
It's getting old.
It's getting old.
I just keep sculptures on my desk and then I never bake them and then they just sit there forever.
Oops. Morla says, kudos, Key. You'll be badass by the end of the month. Happy face. Tim, do you have any special thing you'd like to tackle during DRAWTOBER 2? I guess my big thing would be, last year it was to do all 31, like a daily, for me it really was a daily challenge. Now obviously this year it's a little different because I'm starting early because we'll be gone. So my goal this year is to inspire, and I think a lot of it has to do with not only running the DRAWTOBER account with Key, but also really pushing myself to put in the extra hours to make each drawing feel a little extra, and hopefully give you guys more ideas and inspiration, because the way we are scheduling it is I'm going to post mine in the morning most likely, then Key will be either in the afternoon or night. So I'm hoping with the ones that I put out there, maybe it'll like spark something where you're like, oh, okay, and then you see something and you go down that path. And we really wanted prompts that will spark creativity within the prompt itself, because we didn't want to just do like vampire for a day. Instead we have blood harvester, and if someone wants to do a vampire they still could, but if someone wants to take it in a whole different direction based on how they perceive when or what they see when they hear those words, then that was kind of the goal when we were creating the prompts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I feel like, do not celebrate Halloween like we do in the States. Well, I know that because I talk to a lot of you guys, and you're always talking about how you're kind of bummed that you don't really celebrate Halloween as much as we do in the States. And I think it's a shame, too. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. So we wanted a list that could also be kind of separate from Halloween. Because there's people, obviously, that don't even like Halloween. I don't know why you would hate Halloween. But
somebody we know.
Yeah. Sean does not like Halloween. It's a issue in our friendship. But
it's an issue.
It's an issue. But for some of the days, like is it Shroom Collector? Like that could just be some little gnome that collects shrooms. Or there was another person that told me when they heard that, the way that they saw it was, well, actually no, I won't say it because I don't want to give away their idea. But I guess I can tell you my idea for it. When I hear Shroom Collector, I think of this little mage, like a Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, and he carries this giant chunk of earth on his back, and it's just a giant, essentially, pile of dirt. And when he finds new mushrooms, he plants it in the dirt that he's carrying, and he just wanders the earth looking for new mushrooms to plant on this giant chunk of earth on his back. And that is my interpretation of it. But then, like, Key will probably hear Fungus Collector, or Shroom Collector, and go a completely different route. And that's why we wanted prompts that could be different and, I guess, spark different ideas depending on what kind of artist you are.
Or what kind of things you like.
Yeah. Alright, Key, sorry, I was going to let you kind of explain your problem. Or no, you did.
I already did.
Yeah, what am I talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, I'm losing it, guys. Alright, there's a lot of questions. Let me get on this here. Jopasaur says, the river? I have never... Man, you guys are really good. I thought I was going to get a lot of ones that I've already seen, but you're naming a lot I haven't. Digital says, I have a very good reason to be late. I'm working on the contest. I might stream the process after you stream. Well, awesome. Well, guys, if you want to check that out, Digital has his own Twitch after this one.
And Tigel made it super, like, fancy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Good job, Tigel. Tigel says, oh, by the way, in Belgium, we are going to watch Rubber every single night. Haha, you're so funny. Frostifer says, Suspiria is an oldie. You might have seen it. You know what? That is one I've always heard of, but I've never seen it. Some of the classic ones I have not seen, but I've seen like Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist. And then I have some really old favorites like Wait Until Dark, but I have not seen Suspiria. Suspiria. This side of average says, I'm starting art college tomorrow for animation. I have no clue how to make new friends. Help. Key, you want to give your insight first and then I'll do mine?
Making friends? I didn't really have friends in college.
We might talk louder.
That's hard for me to talk about. Like, I had some friends, but I don't actually talk to any of the people that I went to college with. So, I mean...
Well, Chris.
You have friends from college.
Alright, I guess I can give my insight on this. The way that I came out of high school was I felt... It was almost kind of like the movies that you see nowadays that are like over cliched. But I think there was some truth in the college I went, or the high school I went to, because it was more of a bubble school. Everyone was kind of the same. And there were cliques. There was the popular clique,
yeah.
There was the art clique, there was the gothy clique, there was the football clique. So it was a very cliquey high school. And then there was kind of like a social order, essentially. And you knew where you fit in that order, as disgusting as that sounds. And I was one of the art kids that, I guess I never really got picked on or teased, so I didn't have those horror stories that sometimes I hear you guys say, and I feel for you guys that had to go through that. But I kind of got along with all the groups because a lot of my friends were the sport people because I played sports. But going into college, I still had that same mentality, and what I didn't realize was everyone was weird. There was no social order. And instead of it being on how popular or how cool you were, all of a sudden the new order became how good you are. So no longer was it like how if you're a good-looking person, you're at the top. It was, I have a lot of quality or I have a lot of understanding technically in art, then you were one of the top. You were seen as like an elite. But what was crazy is the elite mingled with people that were just starting in Photoshop. There was no sense of, I'm better than you. It was more of like, you like Miyazaki movies too? And it was like an instant connection. So honestly, going into college, especially in art college, you'll probably be surprised with how open and geeky and nerdy everyone is. And it was kind of the best feeling I think I've ever had next to ASEN and kind of restoring my faith in weird people. And ASEN is a Anime Central, it's a convention for anime fans. And essentially when I went there, it was like what I learned from college times like 30. Not only was everyone weird, but everyone was weird and kind of displaying it in costume, in the way they talked, in the way they act. And it was awesome. It was incredible kind of feeling not only included and accepted, but also they wanted me to hang out with them, or they wanted my opinion on things, or they wanted me to go to the rave and like have fun. So the best advice I can give someone going to college, especially you, if it's your first day tomorrow, is talk often, be open, and when I say be open, it's not just like be open to receive feedback from others, but I'm talking about like be willing to display who you are, and your quirks and what makes you weird will actually be appreciated by the other kids, and they will be like feeling more comfortable because if you're willing to show your quirks and weirdness, then they'll be able to show theirs as well. And then you can get past that whole awkward introduction period, and you can get right into, oh, this is the, like, do you remember playing Paper Mario as a kid? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And conversation just goes from there. So don't overthink it, and know that most people that you go to school with are just as weird and just as introverted or shy, and they're just looking for friends just like you are. So make the first move. I think that would be my best piece of advice. Make an effort to talk to at least one person when you're feeling nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. Articales99 says, where in Europe are you going and what are you guys planning to do here? If you don't mind me asking, of course. We are going for a convention called FAX, which is in Belgium, and it is in the third week in October, I believe. We are going to be actually in Belgium the first week, and then the second week we're going to be in Iceland because things got kind of reorganized. We were going to go to Italy, but then it reworked into where we're going to be going to Iceland for the second week. And it's mainly because of Digital, so if you guys want to thank Digital, he's on the stream right now. He's the one that has been kind of pushing to not only get me over there, but now I'm bringing my friends with me. Sammy WQ says, ever hear of Dead Silence? That's a good one with a twist. It's about a ventriloquist dummy. I have definitely seen it. I'm a fan of anything marionettes or ventriloquism, so I try to watch those type of movies. I grew up with Goosebumps, and Slappy was like one of my favorite villains at the time. Brendan Payton says, Trick or Treat is a must-see if you haven't. I love it so much. I got a tattoo of it a couple of days ago.
Is that the little...
Sack Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean really likes it, but I've never seen it myself. I'll write it down.
It's alright. It's alright.
Sammy WQ says, scary movies with dolls are also always super creepy. Agreed. Sometimes they're a little silly. I remember thinking Chucky was scary as a kid, and then I watched Child's Play again 2 years ago, and I was like, man, now that I'm like 6 foot, I could just kick him. Like, I mean, he could probably take a good slash at one of my legs, but I could probably just step on him and take the knife. I don't know. I think as a kid it's scary because you're like similar heights. Yeah. But as you get older, I feel like it's a little different. Sarath says, Tim, where's the K9 playlist? Sorry, no, you're asking for horror movie stuff. Oh, I forgot to post it. It's pretty much the same as Battered Bunnies. I'm going to put a link to it on the contest page, though. Thank you for reminding me. Not on Netflix, but on YouTube, David Lynch's short films, Grandmother, The Alphabet, and Six Men Getting Sick. They're so good. I have to look at those. I believe, isn't David Lynch the one that did Blue Velvet? Let me double check really quick. Because Blue Velvet was a super weird film that I liked a lot. Oh, and I saw Eraserhead. Okay, yeah, I know David Lynch. I'll have to check out his shorts, though. X Cactus says, I'm starting pharmacy college in a month, and I'll wear my Totoro t-shirt on the first day to see who recognizes it. There you go.
Yeah.
Honestly, you put yourself out there, and someone will respond to that. WixD, or if they don't respond right away, they'll remember. They're like, oh, they're the ones that like Totoro. I'll have to keep that in the back of my mind. WixD says, hi, I finally made it. Did I miss anything? Basically, we're doing the DRAWTOBER pin. I'm doing traditional, Key's doing digital. And we're just kind of having a casual stream today. Sammy WQ says, yes, he did Blue Velvet. Yeah, I like that one. And I really like the song Candy. Oh, is it Candy? No. Oh, shoot. The Sandman one. Oh, it bothers me that I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I really like that song. Morla says, where in Belgium is the convention? I'm contemplating to go if I have time. Oh, that would be awesome meeting you, Morla. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but if you just Google FAX Convention, you'll find it. Sammy says, also did Twin Peaks. I'll have to watch that. I have not seen Twin Peaks. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, though.
Tim, do you like this dark one, or do you like it brighter?
Dark one?
Dark.
Oh, are you working on the nose first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Either could work.
Because I feel like with this, I can use more oranges. I'm going to just keep going with my goods.
Myself very much says, you should watch The Witch from 2015. Yes. I keep calling it The Vitch because it's the 2 V's. But I love that movie. I think the representation of the witch is my favorite ever of a witch. I mean, Hocus Pocus is like the fun, campy one. But like a real witch, that one I think hits the mark for me. And also, when she's rubbing the cranberries on her body, that was so visually... That will never leave my brain. That'll be, like, implanted forever. Forever. Morla says, I don't know if it's really horror, but Lynch's The Grandmother is pretty weird. It's also on YouTube. It's only 34 minutes. Yes, I will definitely check those out. All right, let me get back to sketching here. I guess it's not fair for us to ask you guys for horror movies without maybe saying a couple of our favorites. Actually, I don't even know what your favorites are, Key.
I don't really have favorite movies.
Horror movies, though? Like one that you're like, yeah, you know what? I enjoyed this one.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
You know what? I like Casper, too.
I like a lot of the classics that everybody else likes. Like Nightmare Before Christmas and Casper.
And how can you not like Hocus Pocus?
Yeah, Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town.
Oh, Halloween Town. 1 and 2.
Only because, like, I don't know, there aren't any horror movies that really implanted anything in my brain.
Which is a
because
shame.
they're all kind of just iffy.
Well, Key's not a fan, obviously. I think when it comes to horror, I really like what Key said, the classics. I really like Let the Right One In. I think it's the movie that did vampires the best.
Well, I liked Interview with a Vampire, if you consider that.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was good, too. I think Daybreakers was another one I kind of liked. Not so much the Twilight ones.
Vampire Hunter D.
I never saw that, actually.
It's pretty. That's about it.
Ooh. I don't know if that's very tempting going into it, Key.
I'm not really here to sell you movies, Tim.
But yeah, like I said earlier, last year really impressed me with Goodnight Mommy. It's a long one. You're going to have to sit through it, but the payoff is worth it. I have a guilty pleasure for the Scream series, 1 through 4, all 4 of them. It's something I watch every year, just because I feel like it's funny enough where I can enjoy it each year, and it's something that's easy to watch in the background while I'm drawing, especially since I'm trying to focus a lot on whatever prompt or whatever day I'm drawing. And last year was a good test of that, because it was kind of hard to watch movies we haven't seen before, because I was paying a little bit too much attention to the movie rather than what I was drawing. So some of the days last year I feel like I faltered because of that reason. He had no problem, though.
With what?
Watching a new horror movie and also drawing your Drawloween prompts.
How do I get those done?
Yeah, I think about that, and that's why this is a good challenge for you guys to maybe try.
Yeah.
I still look back and think, man, I did 31 drawings every single day for a month. And that's crazy. Where nowadays I feel like I'm posting 4 to 7 drawings a month. And even that can feel difficult at times.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great challenge to kind of prove to yourself what you're capable of. So you'll always know you are capable of it. And if you aren't hitting that same output, I mean, there might be things going on in your life. Or you could just be lazy.
It's just one of the months where you really feel like you can prioritize art over everything else because you're drawing. And then you can go back to doing whatever art stuff you were previously doing later.
Yeah. I think the best part is you really find your strength. At least I did. It kind of proved to me that I am capable of more than I gave myself credit for.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the best feelings I've had in my art career. Because actually, did you ever come across that problem? Like, in college, I was always told I could never be a daily artist.
Really?
And it was supposed to come off as a compliment, but I always was like, man, maybe one day I'll try to prove them wrong.
I don't know. Art's weird. I don't have any answers for that.
Oh, and I guess another thing is, for those of you watching now, I'm going to be switching the weekly Wednesday live streams to the Von Art channel. And you can see below I have a link that says switching Twitch channels. So starting November 1st, I'm not going to be doing them on this CG Cookie concept channel, but rather I'm going to be streaming on my Von Art channel.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you guys kind of an early heads up here.
Follow his other channel.
Actually, yeah, Key also has a Twitch stream. It is Gawky Art.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want to watch her doodle and do more digital stuff, she's usually on that channel. And I would say she's doing it more frequently now, too. Kind of.
If I'm not playing games. I took a few days off after MetaCon to just play games because I don't remember the day. Or the last day I had a day off. Or what?
Do you guys have any good Halloween games? We're kind of we're looking
You're
for some like weird indie Halloween games to play.
Yes.
We're hoping to stream BioShock. Key has... Why, thank you, WixD, for following. Key has never played the original BioShock. So we're like, you know what better time to do it than now? We're going to have our friend Jonas come up too. I'm hoping some of the days Jonas can pick up the game while you can draw. And that way can get both done.
To draw too, I think. Maybe.
Are you kidding? Jonas can knock out a masterpiece in like 20 minutes. He'll have no problem with that. But yeah, we're looking for some cool... I mean, I know Costume Quest, but we really want like a cool Halloween-themed game. And it could be weird. Like, Psychonauts is kind of like weird enough where it would fit.
I actually never played that.
Oh, seriously? Key,
Yeah.
if there's a game that you would really like, it's Psychonauts.
Really?
Yeah, because each level has kind of a different game twist to it, or a game element that you can try. Oh, Key. No, it's not your fault. I mean, the first time I played it was like 2 years ago, so I get it. Okay, I'm just going to do the lines on this guy's nose, and then I'm going to go ahead and start detailing. So up until this point, I've been talking too much and not focusing on my drawing. True. Kind of have some lines going in there.
I've been not talking enough and focusing on my drawing.
Yeah, right. Okay, let me hit out some questions before I start detailing this. I'm going to switch to this smaller pencil. Joe Pasora says, does it matter how you interpret the themes of the DRAWTOBER? No. If anything, it should somehow be related to the prompt.
Right.
Like, if the day was Bloody Harvester and you drew a rose, I mean, maybe there's a connection there, but I feel like that's really stretching it. So I feel like as long as the connection can be made, it can be super vague, but there's got to be some inspiration from the prompt.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing like an actual freelance or a project in your school while you have to do something that is related to it. There are ways to kind of go around it while still being related. So staying in this sort of bubble, but there's so much room in the bubble, so...
There's room for everyone in the bubble.
Just work with what you got. Try not to, like, tangent into a place where it's no longer, like, related. But, I mean, if there is a way that you can see the connection to the prompt still with your drawing, then you should be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Because I feel like part of the challenge of being creative is given a set of limitations or guidelines and taking your own creativity and applying it to that guideline.
And try not to go with your first idea.
Yes.
That's usually the first mistake in making a drawing.
I thank you, Shiyosh, for following.
Yeah.
Owen Burnett says 30 Days and Nights. That's a pretty darn good movie. I have not seen that. Or wait. That's the vampire one, right? No, I have not seen that, actually. Articales says, I'm doing an assignment in school to talk about an artist that inspires you the most, and I wonder, could I show some of your work to show my class to make it more interesting?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. WixD says, do you guys enjoy listening to creepypasta stories on YouTube while drawing?
Oh, man.
I mean, I've never done it.
I've never done it, but there was one time where I was streaming and a bunch of people were talking about creepypasta stuff. And I've never actually thought of doing it myself. But if
I don't even know what it is.
If you have any recommendations, Totally chopping in.
Why, thank you, myself, very much for following. That one was pretty good. I feel like sometimes these names are created just so that people that shout out names
I know.
have to say them.
That's beautiful.
You guys are clever. Gypsy says, is that channel partnered or associated, or will my fancy subscriber status be lost forever? It will be lost forever. But in my mind, it'll still be there. And like I said, I still want to do something special for you for...
Tim's going to write it down. Don't worry.
I'll write it down. So wherever you guys were at, if you are going for the golden refrigerator pin, I'll write where you guys are at if you are subscribed to this channel. Tigel says, you mentioned that if you complete the DRAWTOBER challenge, you get a pin. But I think I saw 2 pins, a gold and a silver one. What's the difference? So the ones that you saw, there was a copper one and a white one. What we're planning to do is we're going to be selling the white ones at conventions and online. And what we want to do is pay for the pins themselves and possibly with the extra money, give it to, or make new pins. Or we're thinking of, because we'll probably do this next year, we're going to make other enamel pins and we're hoping to do kind of a non-profit and give to charity in some way or another. So we're still trying to figure out what charity we want to give to, but we're thinking of that with the white one. Now, for the bronze one, this one, only those who do all 31 days can obtain the bronze pumpkin. Now, that is the reason I am only wearing the white one today and I'm not wearing the bronze one, because I did not earn it. I have to do all 31 days first. So if this is something you are looking to do and earn, you can get this. Oh, you know what we should do the next year? If they do it 2 years in a row, we'll give them a silver one. If they do it 3, then they get the gold one. Oh, that's great, right? So if that is something that inspires you, definitely something to work towards. So here's the first one. And the fourth one's literally just diamond encrusted. Owen says, Layers of Fear. I have never heard that one either. Man, you guys are really good. Or I'm just really bad with horror movies.
Yeah.
Both, actually, both. And that one revolves around an artist going insane. Oh, that would be even more interesting.
Perfect.
Brandon Paint says, Until Dawn is a really fun play a horror game. Play a horror movie game. I'll have to write that one down. I think if anything, Sean would know these because he plays a lot of video games. He plays a lot of video games. Like he gets a lot of video games in on the daily. Christy says, Oxenfree is pretty good. Oh, I've never heard of that one either. There are so many things I've never heard of, guys. WixD says Friday the 13th on PC and PlayStation. For some reason, I actually watched someone do that one. Yeah, that one was interesting. Tigel says, I agree, Key should play... I assume you mean Psychonauts. It's such an awesome game. Awesomenauts. I agree. I love Psychonauts. Oh, Key, it's so weird. It is so weird. Noitish says Night in the Woods and maybe Life is Strange.
Already played Night in the Woods.
Key loves Night in the Woods. Wait, is that the...
That's the cat.
Yeah, Key loves that one.
Yeah.
Gypsy says Never-Ending Nightmares. I have to look that one. Myself very much as I literally just created this account to follow CG Cookie and make it sound funny when you thank me. Well, thank you, myself very much.
Oh, bless.
But definitely if you want to watch more of these streams, you would want to watch either on Key's channel, Gawky Art, or my own channel, Von Art, because starting November 1st, I'm going to be doing all streams on that channel. WixD says, their YouTubers tell creepy stories, Mr. Nightmare, Horror Studio, read creepypastas. Oh, those are the recommendations for it. I was like, what are you saying here? Yeah. Owen Brunette says, Soma is a good horror game. Oh, I'm going to have to... I've never heard of Soma. And Oxenfree is a video game. Oh, I like the name, so I'm going to have to check that out. And what's the game you just played? I always forget the title of that.
The one I played yesterday?
3 days ago.
Samaros?
How do you spell that?
Hold on.
I'm going to type in... There was a game that Key played. It was by the makers of Machinarium. And it was...
Samaros 3. Or Samaros.
Samaros 3. I would definitely recommend checking that game out, at least. I think the style and the visuals are very intriguing and very well done, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to get a couple more questions and gotta get back to drawing. Tigil says, oh no, I was actually talking about another game. Whoops. Well, check out Awesomenauts as well. It's a very nice... Oh, it is actually a different game. That's kind of funny. Isabel Art says, Little Nightmares. I love Little Nightmares. I'm not able to play the expansions because PlayStation and me do not get along. But my friend just moved somewhere locally around here, so I'm going to go play the expansion there.
When are you doing that again?
Sunday. So if you want to come, I'm going to be playing.
We'll go.
Christy says, what will happen to CG Cookie Concept Stream channel if you are switching over? Essentially, it's going to be more dormant. This is going to be available for future cookie streams, but starting in November, I'm just going to start doing them on my own personal channel. Okay, 2 more, and then I gotta start drawing again. Article says, a game that is a must-play is the Metro 2033 series. My boyfriend introduced me, and I am hooked. I have a really freaky atmosphere at times, or it has a really freaky atmosphere at times. And then, oh, Gypsy says you can play a Samaros 1 for free.
Oh, that's free?
I didn't know that.
I had a hard time looking for it.
Oh, she even linked it. Holy crap. Thank you. Gypsy, you the best. I'm actually going to download this later tonight and play it. Faithful says, I'm on my 10-minute break at work, but I want to say hi. Hi, Faith. How are you doing? We're really excited to see your DRAWTOBER submissions. I mean, I know you might be a little burnt from... I mean, you did all of Mermaid and you did Arbor August. All of them. I mean, that's a lot. I give you a lot of credit. For those of you who don't know Faith, she has been a long follower of CG Cookie, and she is going to be trying this DRAWTOBER challenge as well. I'll check her out. Okay, now I'm going to actually get to drawing again.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see the individual parts.
Tim, this is before and after.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, Key, I already like the direction that's going in. I think around here it's a little muddy, but wait, go back. This is a little muddy, but I feel like you just haven't worked on it yet. I love that. I like the green undertone. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Thanks.
Welcome. Alright, so actually I'm going to do... I forgot the first part of his nose is more dark. So I'm going to do a lot of cross-hatching in here. Make it a little bit more messy. Something I have a problem with my drawings is sometimes I make them too clean, where I want some of the texture to be seen. Texture. Because I love drawing in texture, but I never actually leave texture from like the pencil stroke. So we'll see if I can kind of capture some of that here.
That's my secret thing with the car.
Oh,
So
what are you
short.
doing? So this is a technique I called reverse contrast, where since I want the white part of the nose to be more prominent, I'm shading around the pumpkin, giving it like a light gray value to make that nose stand out even more. And if you look at some of my other traditional drawings, you'll definitely notice it being used a lot. It's a really easy way for me to like push and pull areas
Push.
without having to do a lot of detail work. Faithful says, I'm so excited for DRAWTOBER. I'm working on the contest too. Busy, busy. Oh, you are a busy bee.
Goodness.
Well, good for you though, Faith. Tigel says, Awesomenauts, it's actually free to play. Let me know your Steam. I'll send it to you. Oh boy, what is my Steam?
What is your Steam?
I want to say it's Von Art, but I rarely play video games. I'd have to check into it.
I know my Steam. You can send it to me.
What's your... Here, I'll type it in the chat. Or you got the chat.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is... Hold on.
Yeah, right? I have to, like, think about it.
It'll take me a second to open Steam. Oh yeah, I'm Noi Bet. I'm a Pokemon.
What?
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. They got a what at me, Tim? You sounded offended.
I couldn't contain it. I was so hurt.
Why?
I'm kidding.
You're not good at hiding your...
No, I am horrible at hiding emotions. I think I'm really bad when someone really likes a movie and they'll be like, oh, didn't you love that movie? And I'm like, well, and I have to kind of say how I feel. I try to be nice about it, but I'm bad at that.
It's good to be honest.
It's good to be honest, guys.
Thanks for being honest about my Pokemon Steam name.
So as I'm going in and I'm doing some of the detail shading on the pumpkin head here, you'll start to notice I'm adding in like little indentations or even more subtle wrinkles. And that's just to give the pumpkin itself more texture. Texture.
More texture, please.
Did you? Myself very much says, DRAWTOBER sounds fun. How can I join though? So it's very easy. Pretty much the link below will take you to our Instagram page. And we have a rule set on there. But I'll do a quick overview. Essentially, it's a 31-day drawing challenge all throughout October, starting October 1st, ending the 31st. The challenge is to draw every day and the prompt that was given on that day, post it on either Instagram or Twitter, and use the hashtag DRAWTOBER 2017 or tag us at DRAWTOBER. If we would prefer both, but definitely use the hashtag. And then if you do all 31, we'll send you the pin. So it's essentially a drawing challenge that you'll post on your own. There's no like official joining list. The only way to officially join is to draw and then post it. Morla says, Key, can you show off a comparison to the original pumpkin to see how much you've changed until now?
Oh boy.
And then Tim, you should see Iritzoto on Instagram. They're doing some really nice portraits with some great visual strokes at the moment. I will check them out.
Real big difference going on here.
Real big difference going on. Looney Tick says, Key would make a cool gym leader. Yeah, she would be the ghost gym. She would be the Sabrina version too. Sareth says, having fun with the canine contest, also trying to spread the word about it with my followers and friends. I'll see if there are any bites.
Oh.
Yes, please do. And if you know any art friends that you have that could do this Drawtober challenge, try to push them to do it, because I was kind of pushed to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I was, because I learned a lot about myself as an artist, and I'm glad that I went through that experience.
Just 1 month. Just 1 month.
That's it, 1 month. And have fun with it. Get friends involved, draw with them, watch horror movies together.
It's much easier to do it when you're not doing it by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Or, honestly, if you want to do just like a few days, that works too.
Yeah. For Mermaid, I did one.
Yeah, for Mermaid, I did one too.
Hi, Sean. He wants that there. Right? Probably.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Background color? Yeah, I'll probably change the background color just because it's kind of blending in with everything. I could just bring the old background.
Okay, we're an hour in, Key. Just give you a time punch.
Only an hour?
That means you're probably working fast then.
I felt like it's been, I was like, man, I feel like I'm not going to finish this in time.
I felt the same way, but now I'm kind of cooking here.
Cooking.
Cooking some pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Morla says, talking about Pokemon and gym leaders, what kind of gym leader would you be, or type of trainer? Would you prefer to have a mixed type team? Sorry for the random question. And wowie, Key, nice difference.
Zoom in.
Oh, I think I know what type I would be, but you go first.
Spooky ghost. I don't know. I always like the ghost Pokemon.
They're sweet.
I mean, that's so obvious for me, though. But obviously, I mean, I'd have to pick the ghost Pokemon.
Actually, do you know which one I would pick? I have two that I think I would choose between.
Rocks.
No. Do you know? Grass was one of them.
Grass.
Do you know what the other one would be?
And
Psychic.
maybe dragon?
No.
No.
Water. I would either be grass or water.
Well, you can water your grass.
Right?
I'd be water.
Water's pretty good.
Yeah, you look like a Misty.
Water Pokemon.
Yeah. Owen says, I'm pushing my friend to do Drawloween with me. Well, we're doing Drawtober. If you want to do Drawloween, that's cool too. I guess we're sharing love of Halloween.
Yeah, man.
Morla says, do you think you'll change the background color, Key? Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
Cactus says, since you're talking about Pokemon, who's your favorite? Mine's Luxray. Happy face. This is going to sound really generic and awful, especially coming from me, who I feel is critical
I
of
already
personal
know the
choice.
answer.
What is it? No, I do love Bulbasaur, his whole evolution chain. My favorite Pokemon, I mean, Snorlax is probably my favorite, but I actually really like Pikachu. And I know how horribly generic that is, but Yellow was my first game that I played as a kid on a Game Boy. And Pikachu follows you around everywhere, and he is a brat, and he is horrible for like the first third of the game. And you kind of have to earn his respect. So for me, Pikachu holds a special place in my heart because I was always checking on him, being like, hey, are you cool yet? And he'd be like, no.
You like me?
Yeah, like, hey, is everything all right?
He's my friend.
And he's like, I am nothing to you, and you are nothing to me. I was like, wow, okay. So, yeah, Pikachu is actually my favorite. And I'm guessing for Key, it's Gengar.
No.
Haunter?
I like Haunter better than
Ah.
Potato.
Oh.
But favorite Pokemon?
Squirtle.
I do love Squirtle.
Squirtle's great.
I had a favorite. Well, no, I like what's their name? It's the cat with the big eyes that looks dead inside.
Sableyes.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone can find it.
Meowth.
Cat Pokemon. It's called... Wait. Esper. Yeah, someone said it. Thank you. It's Esper.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Christy says, I'll be so sad in October. I have classes that clash with the stream time, so in DRAWTOBER, the DRAWTOBER will probably help. Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing is cute. Yeah, I hope doing some of the DRAWTOBER prompts will help you get by. I know it definitely excites me to want to draw Halloween things. Article says, I actually woke up on the 1st of September thinking it was October and running out in the living room, super excited to do Inktober and stuff, only to be shot down by my mom saying it was September.
Oh.
They skipped a month there. That's okay. We went to Target yesterday, really excited to look through their new Halloween stuff, and there wasn't anything there. It was really sad. Tijel says, Pikachu, I choose you.
Esper is the new badge.
Ah, Christy, you know me. Yep, water was one of them. Well, because if I was in the Avatar universe, I would be water. Cactus says, oh, that's the Pokemon. Haunter Love. I did that horrible drawing for you. Oh, Owen says he's doing DRAWTOBER, sorry. Well, awesome. We converted another.
Done.
But you can still combine it with like Inktober. Because we don't want to... That's why we're even the stream today of like encouraging different mediums, even though we're doing the same thing, or same subject matter. Okay.
Why is orange such a hard color to paint with?
Yeah, we were just talking, guys, recently about the color orange and how often we do not use it. And if we ever do put it in, it's like a transitional color. Maybe that should be a challenge key of like using orange more. Because I try to use the colors I don't like. I used to hate yellow. It was my least favorite color, and now it's become one of my favorites.
A color that I never paint with is probably purple. But
Yeah, I tend to avoid purples too.
That's what I'm trying to do in my new piece.
Use purple?
The one that I was working on before.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's still purple in it. It's becoming kind of rainbowy. It's too rainbow. I can fix it.
Fix it, key.
I'm gonna fix it. Esper's just gonna change colors with everything else.
What?
Esper.
Oh, he's in the corner? Oh, that's great. I feel like whenever I shade a pumpkin, I have to be a little careful because it's very easy to get lost with having too many wrinkles. And I feel like then it becomes hard to like recognize what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm encountering that a little bit. So the way to help balance it is I'm going to leave this bow tie, his little shirt collar here, and his hat, the underside of the hat, very light. Because if you have a lot of medium values on top of each other, it's just going to clash. Where you want the contrast of light and dark, even if it's like a light and a medium value. So I'm going to push some of these medium values in the background here.
He's gonna move it around.
He's just chilling. Oh yeah, I like how you did that nose.
Oh, I gotta do some important cleanups here. Okay.
Oh, Sean, they were telling us a bunch of video games to look out for.
Oh yeah.
And I was saying, I bet Sean would know some of these because he plays a lot of video games.
A lot.
I don't play a lot of video games.
Like, daily.
I don't play a lot. You know what? I got all upset with you yesterday. The other day.
Were you playing a video game?
No, because when I was playing Sonic Mania and you came downstairs and you just sat there just looking at me.
One of my big challenges for Sean is not to play video games as much anymore. He went from like 8 hours a day to about 4. We made progress. Lunatic says, "Have you guys ever carved a Have I ever carved a pumpkin?" Lunatic, are you lunatic? I have carved many a pumpkin in my life, at least once a year.
Just at least.
This is the first year I'm growing my own pumpkin, so in the backyard, the flower bloomed, so now I'm just waiting for the pumpkin to actually come through.
Come through.
Come through, pumpkin. But we'll post the picture of the Von House pumpkins on the DRAWTOBER page when we do it. It probably won't be till like early to mid-October, though.
Yeah.
But, oh, guys, I'm so excited. I pulled out all the Halloween decorations yesterday. There's a lot. And if you want an insider tip, wait until November 1st to buy Halloween decorations. They're always 50% off minimum. And if there's something where you're like, I kind of like this, but I'll continue waiting, if you give it another week or even 2 if you're really pushing it, it'll be 80% off within 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I try my best to wait until after November 1st to buy out my Halloween garb. But every year I give myself one thing that I want to buy before the clearance time. And last year I bought a 5-foot, it's a 4-foot lit up orange like tree essentially. But I'll display it more in the background of the streams when I do more of the Halloween themed streams.
Halloween theme.
Lunatic says, I was hoping to get that reaction. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Ella says, last Halloween, my family for once decided to buy a pumpkin to carve, and afterwards, when we finished carving it and put it outdoors, someone stole it.
Oh my god.
And they only had it outdoors for a few hours. Well, that's heavily disappointing.
Is it a really good pumpkin though?
Yeah, like, did you carve, like, the most elegant, beautiful pumpkin they've ever seen? Maybe take it as a compliment?
Maybe
No, I'm
a
kidding. That's
badger.
horrible.
Maybe a badger.
Oh, that's... Well... You see a badger, like, walking down the street with a pumpkin.
It could have been an animal that ate it.
Well, it had to be a
Deer.
monster, because only a monster would steal someone else's jack-o'-lantern.
A real monster.
Ella says, what or who will you dress up as for Halloween? So every year we throw a really big Halloween party at Von House, and 2 years ago it was all the roommates were dressed up as Mad Max. So I was Nux. Actually, you know what? I can show you a quick picture.
Wow, pictures.
Found.
History.
And then last year we had like a all black light party. So essentially you had to come dressed in something that would react to black lights. So that was a very interesting kind of like test to see how it would work, how people would dress, but it was a lot of fun. And people, I think, did a great job with their costumes. Okay, so I'll show you last year, and then let me find the year before.
Scroll forever.
Thankfully, I don't really use Facebook that much, so it's pretty easy to get to the different years. Okay, I'm already... There. Okay, where's a picture of all of us? Okay, really quick. I'm going to show them. I'm going to cover up your beautiful masterpiece.
Wow.
So that was me last year. I was a ventriloquist dummy, and you can see how we have the black lights going on. and how they react. And that's the roommate sketch geek. That's Tyler. And then 2 years ago, this was our Mad Max. You see Ashley Cloverkin on the far right. We had Joe as the guitarist. Did the guitarist have a name?
Yeah, but I forgot.
I forgot. Tyler as Mad Max himself. There's me as Nux. And then our friend Corinna was Furiosa. And that was 2 years ago. So that was the first time I learned how to do a mold and casted one myself for the chest tattoo. Or I guess at that point it's not a tattoo. That's skin modification. Yeah, that's scarring. Okay, back to drawing. So this year we have the theme of carnival. And I'm really excited for this one. I've always been attracted to carnivals and the circus theme and the kind of the dark undertones that go along with it. So you can probably guess what character I will be in the carnival. Keys is a little more difficult. You'd have to...
I'm still trying to figure it out.
She's still trying to figure out herself.
I don't know what I want to be.
And I have a funny one for Sean, but I don't think he'd want to do it.
What is it? You want me to be strongman, right?
No, first I wanted you to be the bearded lady.
Yeah, I'll do it.
But now we were thinking, well, Gabe wants to do that.
Oh, okay.
So we were thinking you will be the tightrope walker. Show off your legs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Walker.
Zane Drawl says, I am out of class and now super pumped for Halloween. I have been pumped since
Super
Sunday.
Pumpkin.
You are pumpkin for Halloween. No, that doesn't work either. We try. We're just excited. We're just genuinely excited. Zero says, do you guys do art for a living or do you also have another job? I think if we were good, we would do it for a living. So currently I have a full-time job with CG Cookie. Key is a freelance illustrator, but she does make, I would say, most of her living off of doing convention sales. And we kind of consider ourselves con artists, traveling con artists. So I guess, yeah, essentially we do make our living off of art.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of set an example, not only with Key and I, but even all the roommates in Von House, that you can make a living doing what you love. And if you love doing art, you can make a living doing that. It's something I don't want to sugarcoat. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And there will be a lot of times where you want to give up and you become frustrated. And it's not even just with your art, because then that's a whole other level of frustration. But then it's like, how do I make money as an artist? Why aren't people buying my things? And kind of figuring out how do I make a living while still enjoying what you're doing. Digital says, just so you know, Anna and I are going to be zombies at FAX. A lot of people are dressed up there, so feel free to bring dress-up clothing. Ooh. I don't know if I'll be able to because I'll be behind my booth. I mean, I could be like a little vampire or something. Oh, the little vampire. And then since Key is already a black witch, a black magic witch. Or no, you're more of a... No, you're black magic. You're not a red or a white. Yeah, she's dark. I could go as a zombie or a vampire. I think I've lost so much interest in vampires just because I feel like their portrayal has lost a lot of the initial effect that it had on me when I was younger. And I feel like witches really have become my new favorite. I find them so interesting and more versatile, I would say.
Witches are good.
Yeah, because like a really dark, evil witch, I mean, she doesn't even need to speak a language. She can speak her own, or she might be more feral and not speak any language, and she just is crafty with this dark art of making potions and causing mischief in the town. Where like vampires, they kind of have a romanticized version out now, where I think that's why I Let the Right One In speaks so much volumes for me, because it's not easy, it's not fun, you have to kill people. And I think that movie did the best of like, it's not glamorous, it's horrible. And Living Forever is another thing that sounds great in theory, but then it kind of explores the idea.
Know about
You'd want to live forever?
Let's go. Download my brain into the internet.
Guys, if you have any more information on how to live forever, please send it to Key. She is looking to live forever.
He ain't ready to go.
Ella says, absolutely, it was the most gorgeous pumpkin that has ever been made. Haha, just kidding. No, I bet it was the most beautiful pumpkin that has ever been made.
Yeah.
Lunatic says, I can feel Tim's excitement for Halloween through my screen. Haha. Also, how long did it take you to apply your Nux makeup? About an hour and a half. It wasn't really that difficult, and our roommate Corinna at the time, she is a makeup artist, and she kind of taught me how to lay it on with a special glue, and then did a pass of a skin color on top. So that actually didn't take that long. I think sculpting it took me a long time. That was like a 3 or 4 hour sculpt, even though it looks like simple lines, but you have to keep them precise and in proportion with your body, so that was kind of difficult. Isabel Art says, will you carve the pumpkin to look like the DRAWTOBER logo? Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. We're going to try to do that. Try. We're going to do that. Yeah, we're going to do that. Artical says, what would or wouldn't you guys call art? Like, how many people think that digital isn't really art and so on? Oh, digital art's definitely art. I have a very interesting perception of art. I think I was like a lot of you guys where you look at modern art where it's like a giant blue canvas and kind of scoff at it and be like, that's not art. That's just dumb.
I think everything's art.
So, yeah. So the conclusion I came to is everything is art and nothing is art. So real art in its truest form is a expression of one's self through a medium, usually a visual medium, in which we speak the truest. And I feel like for a lot of us, it is, like for me, it's pencils. For Key, it's probably painting or digital painting. And I always go back to the intention. If it has the intention of being art and like trying to say something within the piece, then I believe it's art. If it is just like done for commercial reasons or trying to just make a profit, it would still be considered art, but I would consider it commercial art. And I do think there's a difference between the two. So yeah, when I go to a modern art museum and I see a giant painting that's painted white, in my opinion, I guess here's a story that I always tell people of why that is considered art. Imagine the artist being paid by the museum to do a really giant, epic piece, and that would be hung in the museum for the newest exhibit. And the artist does this giant epic piece, and it's beautiful. It's the most gorgeous painting he's ever done. But then when he looks at it, he was like, you know, this is technically the most impressive thing I've ever done, but creatively and artistically, this feels like a sellout. I was just doing what I was being told to do, and it doesn't really speak any volumes of who I am as an artist. So then he takes a giant bucket of white paint and splashes it over this giant epic painting that took him hours upon hours to finish. And he covers the entire thing from top to bottom in just a white coat. And then he gives it to the museum, but he packages it, and they're not allowed to see it until the day of the reveal. The museum opens, and then they take the reveal off, and it is a giant white painting. The museum people are furious, the onlookers are confused, and then he has a sense of pride because he did something that was an expression of himself, and that was how he was feeling at that time, and to him, that was honest. So I always make up little stories in my head of what I am looking at and what is the background behind it. So don't just write something off because there might be a story behind it, and usually the story behind the art is the most interesting part about the art. Things can be technically impressive, and that's something I've learned a lot with realism. I've definitely been trapped in college thinking that realism was the end goal, and that's what you should aspire to be. And now looking back, you understand why the Impressionist artist, or what was the other big break-off of traditional... Cubism. And you look at all of these other periods in art that were like the opposite of realism. They were really trying to express themselves in other manners that wasn't realistic.
I'll take cubism over minimalism.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about minimalism myself, and even like graphic stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Warhol's actual pieces, but what he stood for and what he did to the art community, I respect the hell out of him. So it's an interesting juxtaposition where you might not always even like the art, but sometimes it's the idea behind the art that's actually stronger than the piece itself.
We gotta get through all the poopy art trends to get to the good art trends.
And me and Kia have been talking about this recently, where I feel like the age that we're in now, unfortunately, is commercialism, where a lot of the art that we do is to make a buck. And that it's kind of sad, and I think that's why a lot of artists struggle internally. But if you can do something that will make you a buck and make a living, but also that you can be proud of, I feel like that should be a goal to attain. And that way, then it doesn't feel gross, or you're trying to sell out, or you're just doing it for a buck. You're doing it because you genuinely care about what you're doing, but the byproduct of it is financial security. So great question. Ella says, my internet don't want to cooperate, so I think I'll call it the night. Bye, everyone, and take care. Well, bye, Ella. Tijol says, I went to Circus des... Oh, I can never say this. Circus Soleil? Oh, there we go. Last week. Circus Soleil? And it was amazing. If you ever get the chance to go see it, there was an awesome trapeze guy. I could see Sean doing that. He might not look the costume, though. It didn't leave a lot to the imagination. Sean leaves a lot to the imagination.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You see what you get. I really want to go to one of those shows. I've always been fascinated by them. And I see the movies of like pre-recorded shows at the library when I go. So we might watch one of them, but I think watching it live would be a completely different experience altogether. So I would want to see it live. Owen says they are remaking the movie Nosferatu from what I know, but I could be wrong. They definitely are. And I've seen some of the original concept art for it. And you know what? I'm going to say I'm excited. Typically for remakes or sequels, I'm not crazy about them. I think if handled right, this could introduce Nosferatu to a whole new generation that would never be interested in a silent movie just because of the patience needed to go through a silent movie. Well, I thank you, Tall Johnny P, for following. So I'm actually excited about that. But like other movies like Clue or what was another recent one? Jumanji. I think there's some movies that should just be left alone right now. It's too soon, and those are so good on their own. I feel like a remake or a rehash is not necessary. But then again, I'm kind of critical of films. Chrissy says, I feel like the term art or artwalk is thrown over everything, like the art of building computers.
I mean,
that's why it's tough, because like
sandwich artist from Subway.
Yeah, a sandwich artist. I mean, technically they are creating something that would be different than another person. And honestly, yeah, then it becomes like, well, then everyone's an artist. Then no one's special. It's the whole idea, well, if everyone's special, that's another way of saying no one's special.
I don't think artists need to be genuinely special or whatever. I don't know. I mean, there's people that design shoes and they're artists.
Yeah, I agree.
Shoes are art. Someone designed this Pikachu. Someone designed this magnate.
They're going to say mayonnaise. But yeah, I guess the person that invented mayonnaise, like they created a concoction that was new and different, and
art.
someone would call them an artist in that regard.
Yeah.
Because it's called, what is it? The culinary arts. Yeah. So it's one of those situations where, yeah, everything's art, but then when it gets down to the nitty gritty, like you can kind of tell who really is an artist versus who isn't. And I think it always comes down to, do they have a desire to create? If you do, you're probably an artist. If you don't, you're probably forcing it. Okay, Miss Chibiera says, I'm here. My class now goes over part of the stream, but I wanted to say hi and catch the end of the stream. Oh, hi, Chibi. I was actually really excited about the chase piece that you did the other day. That is, personally, that's one of my favorites that have ever been done in terms of fan art that I was not expecting. So I want to thank you for sending me that chase drawing. It was a really cool surprise to get that, because I think I was at Minnesota at the time.
Well,
okay.
You never showed me, did you?
Oh, did I not show you?
You showed me.
Wow.
Wow.
My friend.
Alright, hold on, I'll show you guys.
I'm gonna unfriend Tim from Facebook.
This is our last stream together. This was it. That was the final straw.
He's moving out.
Yeah, he's done. She's moving out after the stream. Okay, here it is, Key.
Oh.
Isn't that
I can't
good?
See it. Hold on. I can't see it. Oh, it's so good.
I know, like the proportions are great, like the weird color mixing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blue and purples in his skin. Yeah, I think you did a really good job. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Still unfriending. Yeah, Christy, you're right.
What'd you say? To be honest, Key, Tim wasn't following you on Twitch for a while. Key blocked me on Twitch for a while. Let's be honest here.
I don't see your point.
Key's like, what are you getting at here? Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys a trick of showing spatial relation. For the eye that's cut out here, I want to show that this chunk is closer to the viewer, so I'm going to darken this line here. And for the chunk of the exposed kind of innards of the pumpkin here, I'm going to let this line be a touch lighter. And that way you can kind of tell there's a difference between the two. And like I said, anywhere that you can throw contrast to help the viewer understand what they're looking at, I always try to take the extra effort to throw those in. Sometimes it'll be more obvious, sometimes it's a little more tricky to understand. But after you draw enough, you'll get that feeling of, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good area to add that contrast in. When you can even do it with like a line weighting. There are so many other ways you can help differentiate areas from one another. And you kind of have to figure out what you like doing for yourself. So I really like contrast, and anywhere I can add contrast, I do it.
Contrast.
So it's funny, even though people consider me a realism artist, a lot of my lighting and a lot of the shading that I do, it might be realistically rendered, but it is not following a realistic lighting scenario at all. Jopasaur says, have you been drawing on your iPad? I have. I tend not to show anyone just because they're really quick scribbles, but essentially that's what I'm going to be working swordplay on, all the pre-sketches. You know what? Just for you guys, I'll show you...
Show and tell.
Show and tell. So really quick, I know these are sideways, but bear with me. So these are like the quick... Oops. Little swordplay doodles I've been doing for the backstory of Red, and I'm going to be doing them all digitally first. I'm going to like resize them, fit them to the page and how I want them to be seen, and then I'm going to print them out and then draw over them traditionally with pencil. So the idea is to have a completely traditional book, and then the chapter breaks will be big and colorful with illustrated paintings that I'm going to do in Photoshop most likely. Now I'm really getting in there. What are you doing? I heard your tablet pen stop. Oh. Ooh, key. I like the green, like the, not the super green, but like the mossy, almost yellow green. Oh, I like the purple tip of the nose. Oh, that's really strong, Key.
It's a thing.
That's such like a vocal point. I like it a lot.
A lot, a lot.
A lot, a lot.
A lot.
Oh, I guess something else. If any of you guys watched the American Horror Story last night, what do you guys think? I have only seen 2 of the seasons, and I've been I feel like I go up and down. A lot of times I feel disappointed because I feel like it gets kind of silly. But this one I'm going to give another shot, and I'm going to see how it goes. I kind of enjoyed what the opening one had. I think there were some decisions where I'm like, the gore was a little unnecessary. But I know the show kind of likes to have fun, and there's people out there that really enjoy gore. So I think sometimes it's a little more catered toward them. But the marketing and that intro, I think the intros are my favorite part of each season, honestly. And yellow and red are my favorite colors. So seeing an intro with like these clowns with vibrant red noses and the blood, and then honey, and then like bold yellow backdrops and splashes. I was in art heaven last night. Heaven. Chrissy says, Key, oh my gosh, I drew some centaur bust for a friend, and I was like, Key would do something like this. LOL.
Yeah. I mean, heck yeah.
CM Art says, it's really comforting to know that you don't use completely realistic lighting methods all the time. Yeah, you know...
It's comforting to do that.
You kind of have more fun in the actual process, too. Like, as I'm going around, even on this pumpkin, there's some areas where, like, I'm shading it heavily, and there's other areas that I'm kind of letting be blank. In the end, well, if I do my job right, it should still read right. And you should still be able to decipher what it is at first glance. But it won't be, like, a realistically rendered pumpkin with, like, a very obvious light source. And, even in the middle here, where the light would be coming out of the carved section, I'm going to leave that really light. Where in reality, it would be filled in really dark because the light wouldn't be able to penetrate inside the pumpkin as much as the outside, and it would be very dark. So I'm going to do more of a contrasted method and leave it more light. Then the area around the pumpkin, like I really should making this area darker because with so many wrinkles and folds, I really want to be careful with how I'm laying them in because it could look really messy really fast. And even there's areas looking at this where I'm like, I need to really clean up or add some value in this area. Which is okay, as long as you're recognizing it. What's a number that recognizes? Lunatic says, I really want to go for a painterly art style like you and Key have for your digital stuff, but I'm having trouble rendering paintings. It just ends up looking like a colored in line art or blurry. Oh, I think that's the easiest way. If it's looking blurry, punch your brush strokes on there and don't blend them.
Yeah, don't overblend.
Yeah, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, the big thing is when you're painting with digital, try to avoid brushes that are like this, that are just blur central. This is not a brush you want to paint with unless you are already good with painting. This brush is more for people that know how to delicately use such a soft brush. I would stick with just the hard round brush. I don't think I have a hard round brush, but I'm using a square brush. But you can see with the square brush, when you're blending, it leaves these hard edges. And I think it's really good to leave some hard edges in your painting. And even though you might want to like overblend to the point where it's super soft, with this brush it makes it actually a lot harder for you to blend until it's completely even. So then you kind of have to leave it with these edges, which is actually something you probably want because I mean it's better to see your paintbrush strokes than it is to not see them, because when you're leaving brush strokes, you're leaving behind an energy that where if you were to clean it up would make it, you know, you would lose all the energy you ever had in it. It wouldn't look like a human touched it anymore because there's no like evidence that there's texture
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's usually also why a lot of sketches look better than a cleaned piece, because when you clean it up and detail it so far to the point, it just ends up looking like blended colors instead of the energy you used to have with pencil, because with pencil you can see every single line, where in a painting it's easy to start blending to the point where there's no lines left anymore.
That's a good way to put it. It doesn't look like a human touch to it anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, painting. Yeah, chalk brushes are good too.
Christy says, I don't know why, but I'm getting Wizard of Oz vibes from that pumpkin. Wasn't it the second book that had a pumpkin character as one of the side ones? I think it was.
I was thinking maybe Scarecrow-y.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's like Dorothy... Oh, I forget what it's called. Dorothy and Oz? There's another book where it's Dorothy, but she has like a different band of friends.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hold on. I know I have the book.
Tim has a book.
I have the book. That's a book.
It's a book that counts.
Alright, no, serious. Keep talking about that.
What am I talking about?
No, why blending isn't right. Actually, I think the nose is the best example of like you can see the brush strokes and why that one looks so great compared to the original.
The nose? What nose? I guess like, let's see. I'll show you guys a before and after. So this is where the nose was. And when I wanted to paint, I kind of have to get rid of these thick lines because it'll be too flat, because like with these lines things will be way too flat unless I wanted to paint in that sort of way, making it look flat. But I kind of wanted to go a little bit beyond and thin the lines out. But you can see in the nose, like, there's a lot of brush strokes going on, and not everything's blending together. Some colors are letting themselves be seen completely, and that's totally okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually had this big problem in college where I would overblend everything, absolutely everything, especially in life drawing and stuff, where I would always want to take the little cloth and blend everything so it's soft. But in real life, when you look at shadows, they might look soft, but there's a lot of little small details that can make the softness look just a little bit off. Like there's ripples and whatnot.
You got a package from Danny Diaz?
Oh!
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yay!
Danny Diaz is one of
Wait, should I open it here?
Yeah, you go for
Okay.
the stream.
Guys, I got a
Unboxing
package
stream.
The unboxing.
from Danny Diaz. I supported his Kickstarter, so I get to get something real cool. Don't know what it's gonna be.
And now you're gonna be excited.
What's it gonna be? I think I got... Oh my god, there's things coming out. I think something fell. Oh, no.
What a great unboxing video.
Oh, it's a little tiny thing. Oh, I got a little sticker. I got the little sticker. It fell. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things in here. Oh, and I got the long... Oh, it's a little advertisement thing. Oh, it's the music for... It's music for the book. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my god, there's so much in here. Oh, what is... Oh, it's so little.
Oh, that's it?
Oh.
Oh, wait, that's the book?
Yeah, this is the book.
What?
Oh my god, I didn't know it was going to be this small, but look at it. It's so...
Here, should we accordion it? I'll grab one side.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right, ready, guys? This is why his book is so unique. Oh, it's gonna be really funny on the stream.
Oh my god. Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So actually, this is perfect because he did this book based on his drawings he did last year for Inktober, where every day he would do a drawing, and then it would continue. Oops, upside down. And it would continue every day, and he would like just pick up where he left off. And why I really like his book is because it's an accordion style book, so it literally folds up into a single book like an accordion. That's so cool. I didn't realize it was gonna be that small either. He's not the best with unboxing, apparently.
I'm not really great at this. Oh, there's something else in here. Oh, it's another sticker. Yeah, stickers for days.
Oh, we should have told him to just ship things together so he could save on the. That's okay.
It's too late. Okay, make sure there's nothing else in here before I dump the box. Okay, I also got some little mini prints. I don't remember how much I put in. I think it was over $100, but got some cute little prints. And this is actually perfect for our.
Oh. How good he is, guys.
Super good.
So good.
And then there's something in here. I think it's an original.
Oh!
I'm gonna cry.
Whoa.
Guys,
Oh.
here, wait, let me show him on the.
I really like that one.
Here, I'll zoom
Oh,
up
we
here.
got this little print too. Oh,
Oh, this one's great, Key.
I'm so excited.
Oh, what's that one with the? They're like on like the fish or something.
Oh, this one?
Yeah,
It's a print,
yeah.
yeah.
That thing's awesome.
So cool.
Oh man, this kid's too good.
Too good.
Too
Guys,
good.
go follow him. He's really
Go
good.
follow.
Danny Diaz, follow him now.
Go follow Danny
Oh, this
Diaz.
one's so good. Oh man, here. I'll just bring it over.
Treat it delicately. Mm. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, if you guys don't, we probably don't talk about him enough on the stream, but he's probably one of the most influential artists in terms of like who we look up to in the Von House. Not only does his creativity shine through with every piece he does, but his fearlessness in changing mediums. I feel like he has gone from traditional to digital to having like a pencil style to a charcoal style, and the ink book is all ink, and then he can just transition through them so fluidly.
Yeah.
And that's one skill to have, but then to have like really creative subject matter and something to make you think, and when you look at it, it feels so different than the previous one. Like that to me is a real artist, and he really does inspire. I mean, not only us in the house, but many people. So go check him out.
So good. So good. Okay.
So good.
We gotta go back to the art. I can link the.
Oh yeah, could you link?
Yeah.
There's a good question in here.
Which one?
There's a good question in here.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there's a lot of questions. Okay. Oh, we got
Yeah.
that one. Lunatic says that actually explains a lot. I think I'm just afraid of things not looking smooth and overblend everything. Thanks for the advice, guys. And trust me, I'm one of those artists that blend too much. So take it from me. Let some of them be seen. Articales99 says, would you guys say that a good way to improve is to push yourself to only draw your insecurities in a separate sketchbook? I got this recommendation to me by a teacher and wondered what you guys thought about ideas like that. Actually, Key, you might want to.
What?
So it's, do you think a good way to improve is to only draw your insecurities in a separate sketchbook?
No, I don't think you need to separate them. I think whenever I was drawing and improving, I was learning from every single drawing I was doing. Even comfort zone drawings. When working on your insecurities or whatever. I think you can do whatever works for you, but also know that you don't have to work on your insecurities outside of your normal art. You can work on it in every single piece that you do, so you can slowly improve those, like, no matter what, you know.
It's kind of funny. Like, I think it's a cool idea in theory, but I think he's right. I think just putting your insecurities in your next piece, in your normal sketchbook.
Like, you don't have to show everyone your art too. I mean, just art for yourself as well. But it's good that you are trying to tackle your insecurities. That's like, honestly, the best thing you can do. Because I think it's very important to work on your weaknesses first before you try to improve on what you're already strong with.
Yeah.
Because what your weaknesses will hinder what you may already be strong with, because it's something that you need to work on. And if you can work on your weaknesses first, then you'll slowly become stronger overall, and you'll just be able to create stronger pieces.
Yeah, then we go back to things that are more comfort zone, they'll be stronger.
Yeah.
Kratos says Danny made a chase drawing like a week ago. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. So, let me show you guys.
Tim commissioned.
On his Kickstarter, I did the tier where I wanted him to draw a... Oops, come on. There we go. What? He did Chase. So here he is. So this is Danny Diaz's interpretation of my character Chase. So it was really funny receiving the one I commissioned and then getting one from this chibi artist Maria like the next day. It was awesome.
Dropping stuff. Sorry.
Get it together.
Sorry.
So yeah, this was Danny's interpretation, and he'll be sending me the original. So I'm waiting for the original to come in before I post it on my own Instagram. And I missed it the day he originally posted it because I was at a convention and I posted something in the morning that he posted, so it got lost in the traffic. But then I realized when I went to his page, because I every now and then just go to his page, and I realized Chase was the first one. So yeah, I had to send him a really long message of like, hey, I really like it. Sorry I didn't say something right away. And I gave him the whole spiel about how he inspires us and blah blah. Sure hears it all the time. Myself very much says, I know that you can make a living as an artist. Actually, I illustrated my first book this summer. Yay! But the thing I enjoy most is painting realistic portraits, like literally just chilling, measuring, and copying what I see. Do you know many artists that make a living doing only realism?
Yeah.
A lot of people joke that I make a living on realism. On only realism?
I mean,
I personally do not.
There's those portrait artists at conventions that make a living off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there definitely are. I would try to... I don't know. If that's a direction you feel you want to go down, yeah, push yourself. I've seen people make a living off pure realism work.
Yeah.
Tijal says, talking about shipping, I've been looking at a few different options for you guys to send some of your con stuff here, so it doesn't need to go on the plane. It all depends on the weight and size. It's okay, Tijal. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out because we have a lot coming your way.
Yo, you have to probably mail your books to him.
And I still have to mail all the sketchbooks out. Oh, you mean to Tijal before the con?
Tijal before the con.
Yeah, I might have to do that. They're heavy though.
I know.
Just letting you know,
Sean.
if you can't mail them all out, I'll still be here for a few weeks in October. So if you need help and you need me to take them to the post office, I can do that.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Sean, you're so nice.
Wow.
What?
Okay, we got like 5 minutes left, Key.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish.
I'm gonna have to finish later tonight too. But we're gonna do a big post about the pins later tonight. So if you're interested in just seeing another picture of them, or kind of a reminder on how to win them, we'll post that tonight on the Instagram page. Shoot, like an hour in, I was actually like, okay, I got another hour. I think I can make some progress. But I think this hour I was just talking too much.
Why is there
That's what
bird
happens on
noises
stream. There's birds outside.
in the kitchen?
Yeah, I invited them in. Yeah, they do sound in the house. That is weird.
Oh, the window's open right there.
Oh, okay.
You may close.
No.
I kind of like it too. Yeah, I'll definitely have to finish this later.
We got birds in the house.
Who cares?
Tizzle says, I would officially like to give Sean a golden fridge. You can't stop this, Tim. Yeah, he can get a golden fridge.
Yes.
Getting on the fridge is a different story, but yeah, you can give him one.
Different strokes, different folks, but
I'm just playing with filters now, because why not? Oh, that's saturation.
you had someone who just subscribed.
What?
What?
Someone just subscribed.
Oh, thank you, Mashiuable, for subscribing. Like I said earlier, though, I'm going to be switching all of my Twitch streaming onto the channel below, my Von Art channel. So if you want to subscribe, I would definitely wait until November and then do it on that channel.
But, I mean, Tim's gonna write you down anyway, so...
Yeah, I'll still write you down. You're going after that golden fridge pin. It's a 6-month wait. So if you want to get that golden fridge, you have to subscribe for 6 months.
6 months.
And I definitely think I'll be streaming a lot more on my personal channel just because I think it's going to focus more on traditional stuff, and I find myself doing more traditional on the daily. I think my biggest problem is just working faster while streaming. I have a tendency to work slow.
Yeah. You do.
I do. And I want to stream, but I still want to get stuff done. So maybe I'll get to a point in the drawing where I just have to render, and I can really just turn my mind off.
Turn your brain off.
Yeah, I just autopilot it out until it's finished.
Some of these colors are crazy.
Okay, we'll take maybe a couple more questions, and then we're going to call this stream done.
Done.
Why, thank you, Exiliner, for following.
We could just make it dark.
Make what?
We could just make it dark.
Make a dog?
Dark.
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 Yes.
Actually, I kind of like this. What do you think, Tim?
I feel like you need another color.
I could.
Or it feels like very
I just need to add grays.
orange. Yeah. I mean, I really like the tip of the nose.
This is how it was. This is after. Do you like?
I mean, I like it after, but I feel like it needs a paint on top.
Yeah.
Or it just needs to be lighter a little bit in some areas.
I got this. God. This is the base coat.
Okay, Tichel says, I feel like I always act silly, so time for a serious question.
Ooh.
In your opinion, at what point does someone become an artist? Is a child who loves to draw an artist? Has it something to do with earning a living from art, or do you just have to eat, breathe, and live art?
I think you just have to eat, breathe, and live art to be an artist, honestly. There's no, like, wall that says, alright, you're an artist now. It's basically what your passion really is. And you don't have to be successful to be considered an artist. You could still be living and breathing art and still be considered an artist.
Yeah, to be honest, I think like
very...
that little kid that's doing a little drawing, at that moment in time, he is an artist. He's creating something out of sheer will, and it's an expression of however he's feeling. Even if it's something like he just saw a cartoon, he was inspired and wanted to draw it as well. Yeah. It's kind of showing his appreciation and his love or his enjoyment of whatever it was. So to me, that's like a pure form of art, because to me, art is no longer technical. And for the longest time, I thought it was. And I thought to be an artist, you had to be a technical artist. And I've learned over the years that a real artist isn't someone that can be technically impressive, but it's someone who can be artistically impressive, which are two different things. Actually, I would feel like Key is a perfect example of this. She doesn't paint realism. Her stuff is very expression-based, I would say. It's like how she's feeling in this area and when she wants to put a color somewhere else or when she's doing things. It doesn't follow a lot of the technical skills of logic or lighting and, you know, realism stuff.
It's about feeling.
It's about feeling. And when you look at anything that Key does, you can tell it's her, and it's an expression of her. And I think that's why I'm learning more and more with my own style with traditional. The reason that people even say I have a style is because I'm making these decisions that don't follow the guidelines. I'm taking my own variations of what was learned technically and then making it my own.
It's kind of like when your style starts showing through, that's when you're putting together what feels right to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to fit a certain thing or be perfect technically. It could just be, how can you make this piece look more comfortable to you where you will be satisfied?
Or what can you do that make it more fun even?
Yeah. Like what would excite you? Like, how do you make a piece that you're working on more exciting for you to work on and just help you continue driving your own passion and not make it like zombie work?
Yeah, hopefully that helped. And I guess a good example is, look at how many realism artists there are on like Instagram that cannot get a break in their following count. And a lot of the times, I hate using following count as like a example, but you can usually see the ones that generate a lot kind of have their own unique style to them, and the reason people want to follow them is because they like that style. They like the interpretations that they're creating. Art. Okay, I think that's all the time we got. I'm definitely gonna have to finish this up later tonight. So this is the end result of what I got so far. Definitely think I have to go a bit darker with the pumpkin all around, because right now it's kind of hard to read this area, but yeah, I guess we'll have to move forward. And Key, do you want to zoom out a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they're like pointing at each other. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming to this live stream. Like I said, we do these every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time. We are switching to a new channel on November 1st, just to keep in mind that there is a contest going on right now that you can join in and win a lot of loot. There is a critique stream happening on September 14th, so if you want your stuff critiqued by myself, I will be doing that if you submit, and there's a link for that below next to the Switching Twitch channel image. These were both done for Drawtober. If you want more information on this daily drawing challenge happening all throughout October, there's a link below for that. And yeah, there's a lot of surprises coming out soon, and I'm really excited to share with you. So thank you guys for coming to this live stream. And Kia, any last words?
Words.
Thank you. Okay. Take care, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Happy almost Halloween month.
All right. Take care. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.